Basic Math, Chapter 16, Section 13, Volume of Prisms. A space figure is a three-dimensional figure that has length, width, and height. A rectangular prism and a cube are space figures. So we have a picture of a rectangular prism and a cube. Volume is the amount of space inside a space figure. Volume is measured in cubic units. To find volume of a rectangular prism, use this formula. Volume equals length times width times height. For example 1, find the volume of this prism. Write the formula, place the values you know into the formula. So the volume is length times width times height, and the actual numbers for our diagram is 10 for the length, 6 for the width, and 7 for the height. Then you multiply all the numbers. 10 times 6 is 60, 60 times 7 is 420, and we can represent with two letters the cubes as CU, and in this case they're inches, so it's IN. 420 cubic inches. The volume of the prism is 420 cubic inches. For number 2, we can find the volume of a cube. Write the formula, replace the values that you know into the formula. Remember the volume formula is length times width times height. A cube has all sides being the same. So we have 4 for the width, 4 for the length, 4 for the height. And then we multiply. 4 times 4 is 16. 16 times 4 is 64. The answer is 64 cubic, in this case, centimeters. Length times width times height. All right, so find the practice. For practice, find the volume of each prism. Length times width times height. So we can write our formula because it's the same formula for all of them. So for our volume, we are multiplying the length times the width times the height. And so we've got, if we highlight our edges, we've got 1, 2, 3. It's a little too big. Let's try this. We've got our length, it's a different color. Length times width times height. How about a little bigger? Length times width times height. All right, so let's put the numbers together. We have our formula already for all of them. Now we just replace the length. So we've got 15 times 12 times 2. And so the order doesn't matter, but we can do 2 times 12. That's going to be 24. And now we can do, if we want to do one on top of each other, 15 times 24. And then we're going to get 20. So the answer for number 1 is going to be 360 cubic inches. So that's the full completion of the problem. That's the end. The answer is 360 cubic inches. Labeling your answer, doing all the math. So we can set up number 2 as well, and this is going to be 3 times 3 times 7. So 3 times 3 is 9. 9 times 7 is going to be 63 cubic centimeters. All right, and then number 3, I got carried away. I was supposed to let you do the math, but we got 9 times 13 times 8. So the answer to those will be the volume of that rectangular prism. For everyday problem solving, we've got my favorite, a fish tank. Alan has a fish tank that's 24 inches long, 14 inches wide, and 18 inches tall. So the front, the height, and the width or the depth. What's the capacity volume of the fish tank? So that problem would be 24 times 14 times 18. So 24 times 14, didn't we just do that? 24 times 15. So 24 times 15, 20, 12. All right, so we're going to get 360. Now that's going to be, oh my goodness, I'm going too fast. Just look at that one. 15, I saw that one, yeah, 360, 360. So 124 less. This is going to be a bigger eraser. That should be 24 less than 360 in the end. All right, 24 times 14, not 15. Silly. 16, 9, 24, 6, 13. So if we added 24 to that, it would bring us back to 360. So we were just 24 too high when we multiplied 15 times 24. But we still have to do the 18. So 336 times 18. Was that 42? 28. 26. 2, 14, 10, 6. All right, so 6,642. 6,600. Oh, is that a 0? That's a 0. 6,042 cubic inches for number 1. Number 2, Alan fills the tank with water. He leaves 1 inch space between the water line and the top of the tank. What is the capacity of the water? So now we would do the same problem, but the height is 1 inch less. So the capacity of the water would be 24 for the amount along the bottom, the length of it. The depth or width is 14 still. So 24 times 14 hasn't changed. But the height is only going to there. So that's going to be 17 inches. So times 17. So instead of 18 groups of 336, it's 17 groups of 336. So really I could minus the 336 from that. So the water, 5,706 cubic inches of water. And now, number 3. A gallon is 231 cubic inches of water. How many gallons of water are needed to fill this tank? Divide your answer and you found to the question number 2 by 231. Round your answer to the nearest whole number. So for number 3, it's just telling us, it's giving us a number. So it's just saying, hey, 231 cubic inches is what a gallon of water takes up in space. So if we had a big bucket of water, if we had a gallon in a bucket of water and we poured it into that fish tank, how many buckets of a gallon each would it take to fill it up? And the math problem would be to take this 5,700 number, 5,706, and divide it by 231. So that would be 24.7, just for the sake of speed. And when we round that to the nearest whole number, 4 is the nearest whole number. We look one place to the right, which is a 7, so it ups the score. So it is about 25 gallons, which is a nice little small fish tank. 25-gallon fish tank is a little small size one. So there's more practice to find volume in your workbook for Chapter 16, Section 13, and of course, let me know if you have any questions. Thank you.